If you've ever been concerned that the deals that you're going after are not in the areas that buyers are looking at, then this podcast will make sure you never have to worry about that again, because I've got John Galan on from New York. He does business in Florida, and he's got this incredible Zillow strategy that he uses to make sure that he's going after properties in the right areas that the buyers are going to buy. Not only that they're going to buy, but they're going to buy at the highest price. So strap in. This is an incredible conversation that I have, and it's going to be absolutely bananas. So John, you have done 100 wholesale deals without walking any of those properties, without physically going into any of those properties. You live in New York. You're doing deals in Florida. How is that possible?
I mean, it's possible with software and a computer, and leveraging community members, whether it be, TTP community members, Astro Flipping community members, or Sub 2. Just from building my relationships and connections and utilizing different softwares, even Zillow is one of them, a free one. I'm able to, run my comps. Since I utilize agents, I'm able to get pictures on the property or see them listed. So I don't really need to walk it. And then I just pay attention to my buyer feedback to make sure I'm up to date on like repairs and what they want to make for their profit.
So you're not speaking with the actual property owners. You're speaking with other wholesalers and investors that already have this deal. They need help selling this deal.
Correct, and other agents. So most of our deals are either coming through from on-market properties, and then those agents that I build connections with send me deals, or other wholesalers, like TTP students, Astro students, stuff like that. So because now people know I sell deals, and I usually like to help as many people as I possibly can. So then they'll send us their deals, and if we do, typically in a week we'll do 5 to 8, and out of those 5 to 8 that week, sometimes all 8 are JVs. Sometimes 3 of them are JVs. 5 of them are JVs and 3 of them are direct deals.
What does JV mean?
Joint venture. So it's like, or you could also call it a co-wholesale, where wholesaler A has the contract and me, wholesaler B, has a buyer, and I help sell that contract.
Why do you feel like, the wholesaler and the agents are going out there and they're really working to find these opportunities, right? And they're meeting with the property owner, they're pre-qualifying, they're doing the lead follow-up, they're going on the appointment, they have the agreement signed. Why can't they sell them themselves, John?
Because I have all the buyers. I have really good relationships with my buyers, and I really pay attention to the numbers, and I'm always adjusting my numbers based on the market or any feedback I'm getting. So a lot of the times wholesalers will send me deals and they'll just be asking too much because either they're going too aggressive on ARV or there's not enough spread on a property for a buyer to make any money. And then some of the agents, again, they're comping the property as if it's a retail property already, and there's no meat on the bones for a buyer to come in and flip it. So usually you'll get what they consider a low ball offer, but I always say, like, my offers aren't low, the price is just too high.
Got it. And so let's just slow this down a little bit, because we've got people that are just coming into the real estate world, and we're throwing out a lot of acronyms and a lot of industry language. What does ARV stand for?
So ARV stands for after repair value. It's what a property... It's the value that you think a property would be worth after you make it all beautiful and fix it up, and then what you think you could sell it for on the market as a flip. So that's what the ARV is.
And you said the word comp. What does that mean?
So comp is a comparable property. So it's a property that looks like yours, has similar characteristics as yours, and it's fully remodeled, so it looks all beautiful, and it's sold at that price. So that's how you could justify your ARV for your property.
Got it. So your whole business is to help people sell their deals.
Yep.
Why not just market for your own deals?
So I do, but even from that, it's with agents, and with agents, I like that because it's more referrals, right? So more leads, more inbound leads coming in. Yes, don't get me wrong. You have to still make a bunch of phone calls. So don't think you're just going to call 2 agents and then all of a sudden you're going to have a wholesale business. No, you have to call a bunch of agents. Like, and the typical KPI you want to hit, which stands for key performance indicator, is 50 conversations, not 50 calls. You want to have 50 conversations. And a conversation isn't like you get the secretary of the office and they say, we'll have somebody call you back. That's not a conversation. Conversations where you actually speak to an agent. You want to have 50 of those a day. So from that, building up my agent database, now agents, once I start closing on deals, they know I close. Even some of them know I wholesale, but they don't care as long as I close on the deal. They'll start sending me their deals before they go live, or right when it's about to go live, so I'll get first looks at it. And that's why I like going with agents and wholesalers. Every morning I wake up, I have like 50 unread emails from deals from wholesalers I got to sift through to see any of those I want to look into further and then work it.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's real important for everybody to understand. We talk about it a lot on the podcast. There's 3 ways to get business, right? Three ways to find opportunities or for lead generation. It's referrals, marketing, and prospecting, or wait, buy, earn. Right? I mean, that's really the breakdown, right? You're either having a great reputation that people are sending you opportunities because they know that you buy houses. You're spending money on marketing to have people call you, or you're proactively reaching out to them. And what John's talking about is being proactive, reaching out to agents. 50 agents every day. I mean, that's got to take all day to be able to talk to 50 agents all day. How long does that take, John?
So I would say usually when I was hitting because now I have a team, but when I was doing it myself, I was hitting my 50 contacts, my 50 agents by like 2 o'clock if I started at 9, but I also wasn't stopping. So I would have church time for me was 9 to 12. I did nothing but call agents, follow-ups, new conversations, everything. 9 to 12, I did nothing. I didn't eat. If my girlfriend's like, hey, can you help me put away the groceries? Not if it's between 9 to 12. Because 9 to 12 was calling time. Then I would take like a good 10-minute break, 30-minute break or so, rest my eyes and my voice, and then continue hammering the phones till I hit my conversations. Then I had all my properties, how to comp them, and then I had to make my offers.
So you call up an agent, and what do you say to him?
So it depends. If I'm calling an agent on a listing, I just call them up about the listing, right? I'm just asking questions. But before I do, I don't just call them and ask them questions that I could find answers on the property if I read the description on Zillow. So I'll just look at Zillow. I'll look to see, has it gone pending before? Because if it hasn't fell through, there's a story about that. What does the description say? Sometimes the description tells you the age of all the major items, or it says there's a tenant in place until March of next year, or it's got subflooring issues. I look to see, can I see the photos? Are there no photos? If not, why are there no photos? And then I see if they just did a price cut, and if they did, when, and also the days on market. Because it all tells you a story. So I have an idea of the property before I call the agent, and then I just have some clarifying questions, if anything.
Like, is it still available?
Is it still available? I saw you just did a price drop. Are you getting a lot more, offers on the property? Are there any your seller's about to accept? I saw it went pending. How come it fell through? Was it buyer financing, or sometimes I'll say, no, the last buyer wound up being a wholesaler. They didn't even put up earnest money and they canceled. Or, we had a conventional buyer, but it couldn't get insured because, the whole property needed to be rewired because it has cloth wiring, so it failed inspection. Okay, perfect. That's all things that I need to know to go into my underwriting.
And then do you make an offer? Where do you go from there? Are you just trying to establish a relationship to get referrals for properties before they hit the market, or are you actually trying to buy that property that they have listed?
So that one, it depends. So now I have I soft vet deals before I call an agent. So I use a system like Privy, and I have a soft vetting process where I will soft vet each deal first before I even call on it. But now a VA does that for me. And if it passes the soft vet and it's not high priority, then I'll call first, get the information, then I'll comp it. But if it is high priority, I'll comp it first, call the agent, and offer on the phone. Because if it's high priority, means My offer is expected to be like within 50,000 of list price, and I just need to make sure there's nothing else I'm missing. Like, oh, I comped this. I think it's a cosmetic remodel. Then I call the agent and I find out, oh, there's foundation issues or there's a sinkhole in the backyard. Okay, well now my numbers got to adjust. So then I'll just tell them, okay, thanks for letting me know. Let me rerun my numbers and get back to you.
Now, in my market in Phoenix, the cash buyers are very sensitive to on-market deals, right? If it just hit the market and we're able to scoop it up and it's a smoking deal, it makes sense. The numbers make sense. But if it's on the market for a while and it still seems like a good deal, but everybody else is passing on it, and we lock it up and try to sell it at around the price that they have it listed, nobody wants to buy it. And I won't say nobody, but typically it's very difficult to sell those deals. How big do you see that, first of all? And if you do, how big of a discount do you have to get off of a list price for that to be really juicy for that cash buyer to jump all over that?
So that it depends on how new the listing is. I had a property that was in the heart of Tampa. I was like, this is a deal. I had to beat out 17 other offers, and I locked it up. I think I was like $15K over list price. I got it under contract, and I sold it $23K over list price to a buyer. But it was literally on the market for 12 hours when I got it under contract. So if it's a fresh listing and the spread is there, and if a buyer asks, I just say I had to beat out 17 other offers. If you're interested, let me know. If not, I got a bunch of other people interested in the deal. But if it's on market for 10 plus days, 30 plus days, now you want a little bit of a discount from list. So I would say if you're like within 30 days on market, you're going to want to push it out to a buyer with at least a 10 to 15K discount from list price, at least. If you're over 30, I would say, try to get like 30K off list, but also pay attention. Did they just price drop? Because if they just did a 20K price drop and then you locked it up, well, and now if you're 5K under that, you're pretty much still going to be 25K under the original list. So it still will make sense. So just be mindful of that. Was there just a recent price drop? And then you could kind of gauge it. So I would say there's thresholds. Like if you're 100 plus days on market, more often than not, you're going to try to get that thing 80 plus, at least $80,000 off list price to a buyer.
Yeah, because once it hits the market, every buyer can see it.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they're all passing on it, guys, and I see this all the time because, in the Rhino tribe, everybody has my phone number. And so I get texts because I love looking at these deals and I love, underwriting these deals. And it's listed and it's been listed for a long time. And they want to know if they should lock it up at list price. And I'm like, you need to be 30 to 50% under that.
Yeah.
For real. Because every cash buyer that would be interested in that area has seen that listing. They know. Yep. They're looking at Zillow all the time, all day long. They're looking 4 or 5 times a day. Zillow, MLS, Redfin, whatever. They're looking for opportunities in specific areas. This is how they feed their family. This is their business, is to buy properties, fix them up, and sell them. So when we're going after properties that need significant renovation and all of the buyers have passed on it, you have to get it at a huge discount from what it's listed at. Yeah. Because they've just overpriced it.
You're also going to want to pay attention to how many views has that property got, because if it's 45 days on market and it's got 500 views and you just ran your numbers and you need to be 10K off list price for it to make sense, there's something you're missing. Otherwise, it would have 1,500 views. So really pay attention to that.
You're talking Zillow?
On Zillow, yeah, it'll tell you the days on market and then the amount of views it has.
Views and saves.
And exactly. So
talk to me about that. So what is a healthy amount of views and what is, wow, there's a lot of opportunity? Because this is amazing. This is kind of like a secret tactic here, John. If you go on Zillow and you're looking for, I wonder if there's a way to filter Zillow to see how many properties have been viewed a certain amount of times. Maybe not. I don't know. But it'd be good to go through if you're looking at these properties and you're going to be calling the listing agent. How many views is it getting on Zillow? Is a good indication of like the popularity of that area.
Yeah, exactly. And like if you're at 30 days or like I've seen properties in Tampa, 3 days on market, 2,500 views. You're getting over list price offers on that thing.
So
But
what's
then
good,
there's
what's
also,
bad? What's the threshold?
I would say, I would say at least, I would decent 200, 500 views a day. 200, depending on the area. Like in Tampa, a really good property, right? Will might even get 1,500 views in the first day.
Right.
You know. But then if you are at 45 days on market with 1,500 views in Tampa, all those views probably came in the first 5 days, and after that it just dropped off. You know,
Right.
I've seen properties that have 12 days on market with 3,400 views. So if you're under 1,000 views, there's a problem. Maybe the area
Is
is
it? Do you
bad.
think it's price or do you think it's location?
Could be a mix of both. It might be it's in a really bad pocket and nobody knows about that besides people that live there, or that it's got once you call the agent, you find out there's a gigantic sinkhole in the back. It's going to take 100K to fix it, and you know the thing's falling into the earth. So now it's just like nobody really wants to deal with that big of a project, or it's riddled with liens and the seller doesn't want to do anything about it. So there could be a story. It might not just be price. It might be the story involved, or it might be the area.
Love it. I would have that conversation with the agent. I would be
Yep.
like, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Agent, I'm looking at Zillow here on this property and it had 2,700 views, but you guys haven't sold this property yet. What's going on? You
Yep.
know what I mean? And they might not think about that, but that might be something that they go back to the owner of the property and say, hey, listen, we're getting a ton of views on it. So it's a popular area. It's a popular listing, but nobody's willing to pay this price. We're going to need to take a more reasonable offer. Yeah.
I
Now we're
love the
cooking,
views.
John. Now we're
Yeah.
cooking. I love it. That is awesome. That is a great tip. I love that. That's absolutely incredible. All right. So, let me see if I've got this right. So now you have a virtual assistant that
Yep.
goes on Privy. Privy is a tool that filters the MLS and shows you the best deals on the MLS, and then you that VA reaches out to the agent.
No, so the VA, and I made a YouTube video on this because when I try to explain it without showing, it could be a little confusing. So
Yeah.
they'll soft vet. So what they do when they soft vet is they'll see a property, they'll see how many days on market it has, what it's listed at, right? And what we're typically percentage-wise locking properties up. So for instance, if we have a property, and the difference from list price that I know could get accepted, it varies market to market. It's just what I know from my market, from things that I've seen and experience I've had. But let's just say we're under 10 days, okay? And it's listed at, let's call it 300,000. I know a property that's listed for 10 days or less, you could typically get an offer that's 50K off of list price accepted. You have a very high likelihood. So I'll do 300,000 minus 50,000. And I built a calculator for this for my VA to use and all this stuff, meaning my offer has to be at 250,000. I don't use flat percent of ARV, but some people do, and I know in this area, I could probably get 60% of ARV, right, is where I would want to be my offer. So I'll divide that 250 by 0.6. I need to see an ARV of 415 on this property. So now my VA will see 415. They'll go to the comparable section, and then they'll filter out highest prices first, and they'll just see, okay, all they look at is the year build, is it within 10 years? The lot size, is it not double my lot essentially? And then the square footage, is it within 300 square feet? If they find three comps, they plug it into the calculator, just the numbers, and my calculator will tell it, add to CRM, pass, or not a deal. And then they'll do
And
that
then
repeatedly, and then those are the ones that we call on.
who calls?
Now I have I have acquisitions specialists calling them out, but I used to.
Awesome. Awesome. And this is throughout Florida, the whole state, or
Yeah.
specific cities?
The whole state.
The whole state.
Yep.
So your VA is going through that every single day?
Every day. That's all they can do, because sometimes they'll have 200 properties to go through.
Yeah.
And
So
then
then they,
that's what they do. They make a list. Then they'll get the list of the addresses, the agents' names. Then they'll put the cell phone numbers. Tell my ACK managers or ACK leads, hey, list is ready. They'll take that Excel, import it into the CRM, and then you start calling.
awesome. And you have a video about this.
It's a three-part series on YouTube. It's on Jamil's channel. If you just look up, my name, John Galan, and then Privy, and you'll see the three-part series.
Awesome. Okay, great. So that's the breakdown of your on-market deals. How do you connect with wholesalers to sell their deals? Because I love this.
So,
This is the reason you joined the
Yep.
Rhino Tribe was to
Yep.
was to pour into the community and say, hey, listen, if you're in Florida and you need help moving a deal, send them to me, and I'll make sure that we get them through the finish line. So I think it's brilliant. I mean, I think that more people that have disposition companies or provide this in different states, you get into a group like ours and you really provide that value, and all of a sudden you've got leads just coming at you with people that are starting out and building momentum, and they want to make sure that their deals get closed because it's their first couple and they want their hand held, to get it done. I think it's a phenomenal strategy.
Yeah, and that's what we do. I mean, in the beginning, when I was just in one community, I was just constantly showing up to the calls, always first. I was constantly posting, sharing things, giving advice, whatever I could do, just being loud, so people knew who I was. And then as I started getting more success, people saw that. And now I try to, I have a coaching call in astro flipping, and now I have a coaching call in TTP. So I always try to find a way to, become a leader in the community, and then just provide value to as much people as possible. I have a newsletter going on where every Monday I give a poll, or I tell them I'm doing a Zoom, and then on Thursday I come out with whatever the most voted for topic was. I come out with that content or tool that I made, or I host a Zoom that day. So I do that every single week consistently. And, I made a Facebook group. So I'm just trying to do as much value providing as possible. And then people usually come to you. And we do help. A lot of new wholesalers are nervous. I knew what it was like. I know what new wholesalers are worried about. So I try to help them as much as I can throughout that. If they have to cancel, I'll try to help them. If they're not sure about the paperwork, I'll fill it out for them if we're doing deals together. And even with buy prices. Comping in the beginning is one of the hardest things. So I usually do an exchange. I will give you a buy price in exchange for 72 hours of exclusivity on the deal if you lock it up. And then I'll usually sell it before then. But it's got to meet certain characteristics because I don't want you to rely on me. I don't want to be a crutch. I want to just be able to help you in the beginning. So if you don't do your own homework, or if it's if you're $150K off of asking price, those things it doesn't make sense. But if it's somewhere within these three parameters, send it to me. I'll give you the price, lock it up.
Awesome. And you've done a phenomenal job. We love you. The tribe loves you. You do an incredible mindset call every single week or most weeks. And people love that. People really, because listen, if you don't have your mindset right as an entrepreneur, especially in the real estate business, with as much drama that is drummed up from the fear mongering that happens in the news and social media about real estate market crashing or real estate market, going crazy, or it's a bubble and it's a burst, all these things, right? We're influenced by all these things all the time, that if we're not in the right space mentally and we don't have that self-love and that self-confidence and just that, really pushing out all of the 3Ds, we call it, doubt, disappointment, and distraction from our brain, it'll prevent us from taking action, massive imperfect action every day. So you do a great job setting the week up for all of us with kind of a plunger for our brain. It plunges out our brain of all the negativity, puts in the positivity, and people can go out and have a great day and week and month, and it's so critical. So thank you for that.
Yeah, of course, and thank you for giving me a platform to be able to help. It's one of the things that gives me the most energy is these conversations and being able to help dispel limiting beliefs and just help people realize their happiness, and just be able to walk each day just being happy, not relying on an external circumstance to make them happy either. Because, I think it was Albert Einstein, he says, the most important decision we can make is, do we live in a friendly universe or a hostile universe? So if you think you live in a friendly universe, you think everything that's happening is happening for you. No matter what it is, it's happening for you. There's a reason for it. Every setback is a setup for something better. Or
Sure.
if you live in a hostile universe, then everything's happening to you and it just doesn't seem to go your way. You can't seem to change this. You're always following the old story, right? So when you start realizing that this universe is like, and this is going to get a little I used to not believe in this stuff, but the physical reality that we see with our eyes is an illusion that we create based on the thoughts that we think all the time and the beliefs that we have. And all a belief is a thought that just reoccurs, right? So when we start changing our thoughts, we change what we see. Because I always tell people, like, you don't see with your eyes, you see through your eyes. You see with your mind, right?
Yep.
So if you start changing up here, the outside will reflect what's going on in here. So even with business, if you're a business, you're wholesaling, right? If you're always thinking, oh, what if I cancel this contract? What if I cancel this contract? Oh, I can't get a deal. I can't get a deal. What are you focusing on? You're focusing on the fact that you can't get a deal and you're going to have to cancel a contract. So what are you already anticipating, and what is your attention and energy going to? Canceling the contract and not getting a deal. So I always tell people, one of the things I say every day to myself, I have a Post-it note. I always have a constant inflow of deals, and I'm always able to sell them to the right buyer. That's all I think about. I don't think about, oh, it's slow today. No. Today was a great day. I had a bunch of deals to comp, and I'm just getting better at comping. And then tomorrow I'll have even more, and I'll sell as many of them as I possibly can. Because every day there's always one deal out there. Every single day, there is one deal floating out there that can be assigned to you. You could assign a deal every single day. Yeah. Focus on that deal instead of the lack of all of the other deals not coming to you. It's really just a matter of what you focus on.
Well, it's an expectation, and I've heard it say we don't get what we want, we don't get what we need, we don't get what we deserve, we get what we expect. And there's a lot of those. So there's probably a million other ones that could fit in there. But I really like that. I really think, when you start out with certain expectations of the person that you're going to marry and the way that you're going to be around your family and the business that you're going to build and the value that you can provide, if you set certain expectations for those things, it really starts, becoming reality. I mean, that's how you start. It takes you down the path of, okay, this is what I'm going to do today because these are my expectations, and I love that. I absolutely love it.
And another expression is like, you don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are. So like you can't find happiness anywhere. You can't find success anywhere. Those aren't things you find. Those are things you are. And if you're not successful, you're not happy now, nothing's going to change that. Everything goes on inside of you, right? So there's no external circumstances you got to wait for. So one of the things I love to do is visualize. But when I visualize, I don't see the things that I want. I feel the things that I want. What do those things make me feel? Because it's not the money I want. It's the feeling of the money that the money gives you, right? So when you feel it and you become it and you get familiar with it and you're like, what am I thinking? How am I walking? How am I talking? How does this person show up every day? And you start showing up like that today, it's no longer something in the future. You are already what you want to manifest, and then the things just start attracting because you start walking that way, talking that way, and have that energy going out into the world.
I love it. And you've got big plans. You've got big expectations for what you want to do with your company, SnapFlip. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so actually, funny enough, and again, things always happen for a reason. SnapFlip is no longer a thing. We had a mutual, me and my one partner, we had a mutual split. We got what we needed from each other in the partnership, and then we both realized and felt like, hey, it's not beneficial for us to keep going forward together. So let's do our own thing.
Very common, by the way.
Right.
Very common with partnerships. Real quick before you get into this thing, because I think this is real important, because there's a lot of partners listening to this. There's a lot of people thinking about getting partners with this. I will tell you, if it's not your family member, if it's not your significant other, Most of the time, if you're going to build a wholesaling business, there's one person on the white horse. There's one person leading that. There's one person, and sometimes when there's two, it's better that two separate to become two powerful companies. This has happened to me twice in my life. The second one was in 2017. And my former partner, Dustin Monger, is phenomenal. He's got a multi-million-dollar portfolio and business and does phenomenally well. And the same for my business. You see that happens. That happens. So there should be a conversation. I'm getting to the point. There's a long-winded way to get to a point. But the conversation needs to be had that every 6 months you audit your business and decide if you guys should be two separate businesses or just one business, and continue going on with that relationship. But I find often partnerships really reduce the income for both partners. And when they go into two businesses, they make double the money and double the impact.
Right. So I still have a partner. It's just Helena is my partner right now on the wholesaling and on the multifamily side. But yeah, we do have big plans. We're building a national franchise, just like Jamil did with Keegley. We're doing the same thing with our company.
What's it called?
We're going to franchise it. Right now, we're called Easy Res. So it stands for Easy Residential, or if you take the first two letters, ER, that's ER like emergency room, because we're really quick to revive your deal and save lives.
There you go. I love it. Well, there you go. Well, perfect. So ER, Easy Res, absolutely incredible. So what, you're gonna like start franchises in other states based on your guys' model?
Correct. Yeah. So we're
Awesome.
going to prove it in a couple different markets first, starting with Florida. Then we're going to go to another market and another one. We plan to have 5 corporate offices, and then we start franchising it out because we'll have the franchise blueprint. And the whole goal of the franchise is to help people. We'll be able to show the blueprint, show the structure, how you do things, how you get leads. And this way the goal is to help as many people as we can, our franchisees, achieve the same level of financial freedom and entrepreneurship that we were able to do. So we could help make more millionaires in this world and help them change the lives that they want.
I love it. Tell me what's your biggest deal this year? Because I got this victory bell. I just snuck it closer to me because it's whispering to me. It's saying, ring me.
I'm actually about to assign one right now. It's a smaller one. I'm just waiting on the buyer to sign. That one's going to be, I think, $5K to us. And I have a potential one. I'm just waiting a deal is coming back from a TTP student. She texted me last night. There's a potential for each of us to make 25 on it. So I'm just waiting to confirm that buyer is still good, because that was last month. And the seller didn't want to budge. And then she texted me back, said he called him back. But biggest assignment fee for me has been $30,000.
Awesome.
But the best week for me was 8 deals that week for, I think, 90,000.
90,000. Come on, let's go. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. That is awesome. So, guys, if you are in Florida and you need some help moving your deals, you need some help comping your deals, you need some help getting some guidance, John, we've got John's information in the show notes. You can also go to deals at EZYRES.com, EZYRES.com. And you can send him an email and communicate with him there. What else? Instagram, John? How else can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, Instagram, it's at John Galan, REI. That's JOHNGALANREI. That's my Instagram. I post on there occasionally. Going to start posting there a lot more, sharing the story of building the company, all of the wins, and then all of the mistakes that I've made personally through building this. so I could help as many people as possible.
And we'll have you back on, John. We'll be talking about building your cash buyer database. We're going to be talking about all the incredible stuff that you're doing with multifamily. So there will be another episode with John. John is a fixture in the Rhino tribe, and we love him. We love him. Here's the thing. If you want to be really good at this business, you got to communicate. You got to be very fast with the communication. It's not like, oh, yeah, I got back to you at some time. It has to be fast. It has to be very fast, and it has to be with a lot of positivity, with a lot of encouragement, with a lot, none of this like, oh, I don't know who you are, so prove to me that you're worth my time type of thing. That's not how John works. But by the way, that's how most people in this business work. John doesn't. Yeah. He's got a really huge heart for that. He's got a really huge cat that was at the start of the show named Cora. So if you're a cat person and you love people that communicate fast, John's your guy, okay? He's also a dog guy, whatever you are. So, John, give some advice for people just starting out and looking to get their first deal.
Yeah. Well, first off, Brent, I just want to say thank you for everything you do, man. Like, a lot of people you see on the internet or in the computer or certain mentors here and there, they're two different people in person and in and on the screen. But you're as real as it gets. You're a very genuine guy. You're like hilarious. When I first met you back at the Astro Mastermind, I just felt like you were just one of my buddies from back home. So yeah. I just wanted to thank you for being your true self and the true person you are on screen and off the screen. You're just a very stand-up guy, and I'm very honored to have you as a part of my life. And now, how can you help get your first deal? One of the biggest mistakes I see people make is they say, I'm in 5 different markets and I'm trying to do wholesaler outreach, agent outreach, and direct to seller. Pick one market.
Yep.
One market. You don't know which market to pick. Is it going to be a market you potentially eventually want to buy in? Do that market. Is it a market where you see a lot of activity? Do that market. Are there Keighley's in there? Jamil's company, Keighley, does a lot of market research. If they don't have a franchise office location in that market, there's probably a reason for it. So that's another way. It's like the Starbucks effect for multifamily is the Keighley effect in wholesaling.
Sure.
So pick your market. Then pick your outreach method. Direct to seller, direct to agent, direct to wholesaler. Don't do one or the other. Don't do two. Do one of them. Focus on one. It's 3 different business models. Which one can you choose? That's up to you. Do you like to call sellers and build those relationships and rapport? Do you like to work with agents, get referrals? Do you like helping? Because direct to wholesalers, a lot of helping, a lot of hand-holding, a lot of nurturing. Figure out which one you like the most. Do one market, one outreach method. Stick to it for 90 days straight. Do not waver. Do not stop. You got to be consistent. You can't be 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. It's consistency, determination, persistence, and a bunch of positive thoughts. Focus on your mind. Mindfulness is the key.
I love it.
Everything else comes as a result.
John Galan, so great to have you on here, brother. Love you, man. Thank you. Thank you for pouring into the Wholesaling Inc. podcast. And you guys know it if you're interested in joining the most proactive group in real estate investing. And join John on his support calls, getting your mindset right. Go to wholesalinginc.com, wholesalinginc.com. Check out what the Rhino Tribe is all about. Check out all the testimonials. If it feels good in your gut, sign up for a call. And that is it. That is our episode today. What an incredible episode. Absolutely incredible. I love that Zillow tip there. That's going to be really helpful for a lot of people. So that's it. As always, I'm your host, Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP, Mr. Talk to People, and I encourage you to go out there every single day and talk to people. Till next time, guys. Love you. Bye.